The Philadelphia Eagles, the Kansas City Chiefs. This is your complete betting guide to Super Bowl 59. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the jungle. And welcome to your comprehensive video for everything you need to know to bet the Super Bowl on Sunday. I'll give you 2 bets for short odds. I'll give you 2 long shot bets, and I'll give you something I'm cold on, something I'm warm on, and something that I'm hot on, my favorite bet. Well, we have a lot of work to do, so let's get cracking. We're going to start with Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. It's minus 115 over on Caesars. Now, this seems like a little bit of a square play, and maybe it is. Square means something that the public just, bets because it normally hits. But here's the deal. The price on Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown, and by the way, if you're new to betting, that doesn't mean throwing. He has to rush it in, but we all know the tush push, and he's going to use his legs a lot in this game. I'm sure that he's had 2 weeks off for that needed recover. But it's normally minus 150, minus 160. We're getting a great price here on Caesars of minus 115. I'd play it up to minus 125. Jalen Hurts has 9 rushing touchdowns in 8 career playoff games. Second bet, we're taking Patrick Mahomes over 23.5 passing completions. This is currently minus 127 over on DraftKings. Mahomes has played in 4 Super Bowls. In those 4 Super Bowls, he's had 34, 21, 26, and 26 completions. Now he's going against Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles. Vic Fangio plays a cover 2 shell with his defenses. That means that they don't give up anything deep, and they're just quite okay giving up short range and middle range passes. This is a perfect formula for Mahomes to dump and dink all day long. If you look at what happened in the NFC Championship game, Philadelphia and Washington, they played the same defense. Jaden Daniels had 7 completions in that first drive, ended up with 29. Week before that in the divisional round, Matthew Stafford had 26 completions against this defense. I like Mahomes over 23.5 passing completions. Now, when we look at long shots, that means something that's plus 125 odds or better. First one I'm going to give you is DeAndre Hopkins of the Chiefs. Plus 125 odds over on FanDuel. It's to have over 1.5 catches. He just needs 2. Now, he hasn't been over this yet in the playoffs, but he was over this number of 1.5 catches in 13 of his last 14 regular season games. In fact, he's on the field for 60% of the Chiefs' passing plays on offense. And he has a median. We don't talk averages in sports betting. We talk medians because it gets rid of the outlier performances and gives you a better sense of what players actually do on a daily basis. But he has a median of 4.5 targets per game since his career with the Chiefs, and he catches 89% of those targets. And he's a perfect candidate to go against the Vic Fangio defense with the cover 2 shell high and giving up the mid to short passes. DeAndre Hopkins, take him for plus money over 1.5 catches. We're also going with, for the long shot odds, A.J. Brown. Now, this is an alternate line. We're going over 89.5 receiving yards, so he needs 90. It's plus 192 over on FanDuel. He's over this in 3 of his last 6 games. And the Kansas City Chiefs, they blitz a lot, and they play more man coverage than anybody in the NFL. Statistically, nobody has beaten man coverage more than A.J. Brown. I like him over 89.5 yards. Looking at the Chiefs in their rushing attack, Isaiah Pacheco, we know, got hurt halfway through the season, and he's been back for 7 games, but he's a shell of his former self. That often happens with running backs, especially with leg injuries. Now, Kareem Hunt outperformed in all 7 of those games that he's been back, and Andy Reid is trusting Pacheco with the ball less and less. Let's look at his carries since he's been back. He ran the ball 7 times his first game back to get his feet wet, then 14, then 13, then 9, then 6. Then the playoffs come 5 and 5. In fact, in the AFC Championship game against Buffalo, Kareem Hunt carried the ball season-high 17 times. I don't think they're going to use Pacheco very much today. Andy Reid knows that he hasn't come back to the form that he was in. I'm cold on Pacheco. Fade him. Take his under 6.5 carries. Now, the public loves betting overs on totals. They love overs. We know that. But 13 of the last 20 Super Bowls have gone under their total. This over-under opened up at 50, and the sharp bettors, the professional bettors, know that the line is built to take advantage of the public liking overs. So what happened when that line came out at 50, the sharps hammered it and bet it all the way down to where it is now at 48 48.5. I don't like under 48.5. I don't like over much either for it. But one thing wasn't affected, and that's the halftime over-unders. It's sitting at 24.5. Now, the first quarter over-under is 9.5. I think that with these games, you see this all the time in the Super Bowl and with the college football championships. It's a chess match in the beginning. I think that 24.5 is too high of a line for the first half. I'm warm on the under first half, 24.5 total points. Andy Reid, when having a bye or having 2 weeks to prepare for any game, including the playoffs, is 31-7, 9-3 in the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes, indoors in his career, is 11-0, 26 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Steve Spagnuolo is one of the best defensive coordinators in NFL history. Big games like this come down to who's been there, who's not going to freeze, and most importantly, coaching, quarterback play, and defense. I trust Andy Reid, Steve Spagnuolo, Patrick Mahomes, and the Chiefs' defense more than I do Nick Sirianni, Vic Fangio, who, by the way, Patrick Mahomes is 4-0 against as a defensive coordinator, the Eagles' D, and Jalen Hurts. I'm hot on the Chiefs' money line, and you should be too. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Jungle Nation, please let me know in the comments what you think of these plays, and I'll see you next time with a little more money in your pocket.